Ever since the dawn of humankind, we've sought the origins of our life and its purpose. Some have chosen to look to science, religion, or philosophy for answers. Many have turned to the great masters such as Lao Tzu, the Buddha, and Jesus Christ for spiritual illumination. Still others have sought truth through their own direct experience. All of us are searching, knowingly or unknowingly, for enlightenment, truth, and harmony in our lives. This program, hosted by Dr. Gregory Penn, will help you aspire to a more fulfilling and rewarding life.
Welcome to this edition of Aspire Unplugged. In this particular show, we're going to talk about the origins of Aspire, how it became a name, and then a cause, and then a purpose. So, Mitch, what do you want to ask?
That's great. Well, I'm going to show you a couple of pictures first to take us back.
Ooh.
And there we are with one of our Emmys, and I just want to say it was really challenged to actually get the recognition because the NATIS didn't know what category we even fit into.
Yeah, we didn't fit into any category.
Yeah. I mean, and so we were going up against the likes of Terry Cole Whitaker and the other more
production value. They spent a ton of money that we didn't have.
Yeah.
Never.
And the Christian online broadcast shows too.
Yeah.
It was very tough.
Yeah, we thought we wouldn't win.
I know, but we did multiple times.
But we did.
And then we started going out and doing you on location. And, you know, it started out in the center that you guys shot with multi-cams.
Right. I got tired of that.
I know. And it was so much, I think it was more visual and it was a better production value for the viewer to see us out and be in nature and becoming in tune with those locations and working them into your discourses as well.
I agree. We went to some very beautiful places in Diego and Del Mar and Monterey and Carmel.
And then, of course, we went to India, and that was the penultimate trip as far as that goes. And there's our crew and
the call.
India, the call. And,
I'll never forget that.
We'll tell some more stories about that later.
Yeah.
But there we are. I mean, some of the locations were just incredible, that we've been to over the years, and the walking, talking. It was a ballet of sorts to actually pull it off.
Yeah.
And
it was hard.
There's our crew. Yeah, I know. It was
on
hard.
You guys. It was hard on you guys. It was
very physically demanding. Yeah. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And we just did so many different setups in Yokoji Zen Center.
Yeah.
Interviewing the Roshis and all that stuff, and of course,
Doshi's
been a big part of everything that we've done.
Right.
I mean, we've been through so many different setups and changes.
Always trying to reach people.
That's right.
From a different point of view.
That's right. Yeah. But, talking about some of the other TV ministries, that have come and gone. I mean, Aspire, we're still doing it 36 years later.
I know. Who'd have thought?
And those shows are long gone.
Long gone.
Long gone.
Terry Cole Whitaker, long gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, she quit and couldn't handle it.
What are your thoughts about her?
I don't have any.
Did you ever watch her?
Yeah. That's the most popular genre in not spiritual, I guess I think, congregational work. It's those people that go and hear that are the getters. Mm-hmm. And they want to get something. They're always, how do I get money? That would be number one. Mm-hmm. And how do I get a mate? And that would be in there too. And how do I, be cool? And try to control my life.
I have a clip that kind of feeds into that, talking about ministries that are kind of telling people what they want to hear.
Yes.
Well, I'd like to hear your thoughts after I play this clip from Passing Through the Fires.
Okay.
A spiritual practice, going through the fires of yourself and transcending into this thing called your life, has nothing to do with control and power. Americans want more. And that's why the spiritual path is so difficult for us. Because in our culture and in our society, we live in the entanglements of more is better. We think we're entitled to what we want at all costs to our own life. And that is what makes life difficult for us. Most people are zombies. They are living according to the value system of more is better for greed and entitlement. and they have missed their entire life. And when you try to bring a person back to the simple things, the values of love, compassion, forgiveness, when you are not living for vengeance and rightness anymore, it looks weak. The position looks weak. You're not manipulating things to get what you want, and we become very vulnerable on the inside. Now it becomes difficult for us to live our life and to be happy because we're not sure if we're doing the right thing. Where's the profit? Where's the gain over the loss? How do I know if I'm right? Maybe I'm in a cult. Maybe they're going to control my mind. All of these thoughts that we have inside of ourselves that take us away from our heart and our soul. A true spiritual path is not here to make you religious or philosophical. It is to do one single thing. It is to bring you back to your life and your heart.
Wow.
Yeah. One thing I did agree with about Terry Cole Whitaker, she did say people want more, better, and different.
Yeah,
And
but
that's all
that
they
doesn't
care
mean it's for their betterment.
I know, yeah.
And that isn't going to advance our civilization at all.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, it's going to cause more diversity because not everybody can have that more better. It's not in their karma.
Mm-hmm.
And so then we have jealousy and pride and all that other ugly stuff going on. And that's terrible. That's poison. You don't, if you love your audience, if you love what your practice is all about, you don't feed them poison. Even though they want it and they'll pay for it and they'll raise their hand and say, I like it. You know, the average American, the mentality of the average American is lower than a plant. They're not very bright. They're not. And if you look over the United States, you look over, if you could, take an IQ test of basically America, you would probably be a little bit in the middle, but nobody has the acuity for love. And love doesn't require an acuity. It requires compassion. It requires what I call the pull inside. Mm-hmm. And people don't have that. And they don't want it. They don't think they need it. The whole idea is be born, be educated, get a job, find a mate, and die. Mm-hmm. Oh, and make babies and die.
Well, she also said famously, prosperity is your divine right.
It's not.
Oh, completely.
It's not.
But
your
that's what
divine
people
right.
wanted to hear.
I know. But that's what you say to people when you want their money. Mm-hmm. When you want their dough, that's what you tell them. And then you eventually get around to the idea that, when you give an offering, that's going to make you richer one day.
Right.
And it's not true.
Yeah.
It's not. Tithing is something that was used in olden days and biblical days to get people to build temples, just like we have now. And what are they for? What? To worship evil, to worship ignorance, to worship pride, to worship vanity,
Right.
And vengeance.
Yeah.
All big wars were about religion in the old days. Now they're about survival and money.
Mm-hmm. Which is the new religion.
And sex.
Yeah.
Sex is big.
Well, there were so many other movements, too, during the time. I mean, there was EST. There was...
I did EST.
Did you?
Yeah.
And then, of course, there was neuro-linguistic programming.
Yeah,
all the
yeah.
self-help
Right.
gurus and stuff like that,
Yeah.
But...
I wonder if Buddha did EST.
I went to an EST meeting once, and they led us into a meditation, and they said, feel the color of the carpet through the soles of your feet. And I thought,
Maybe I
okay.
should take my shoes off.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, it's that kind of crap that people just really eat up. Because they can relate to it, it has to do with their body. Mm-hmm. And anything you can teach them about their body, that's why yoga's big. Mm-hmm. Yoga is only big because it's a place to meet other people, to see their bodies. There's, these young yoga bunnies running around with their tush hanging out in their tits. And then to sit there and think, well, I'm in a spiritual environment. This is okay for me to lust after these bodies.
But there is some pathway to spirituality through physical movement, would you say?
There is yoga in India, and there's yoga in America. Yoga in India, yes. Yoga in America, not so much. Because you have the American mentality sitting there, even if you had a really good teacher. But so the idea is to promote spirituality through the body. Well, that's not going to happen. The body is about two things, survival and sex. That's it. It didn't go any deeper. And so to transcend that, you need a spirit quality. And the real authentic yoga that we saw a little bit in India, that's the real stuff. But that requires total discipline, and your life has to be totally devoted to it. So in America, it's like an exercise you do, and you stick it in the morning or in the afternoon, and then you go home, and you're not going to meditate. You know, it's not a lifestyle. Mm-hmm. You got to make it a lifestyle. Mm-hmm. Real yoga means lifestyle, the way I live my life. It's putting life in my lifestyle. Mm-hmm. That's real yoga.
So Aspire was really a rogue alternative to, organized religion, clearly. Yet you drew upon so many other teachers. You continue to do so. So many teachers and so many philosophies. Is that what ultimately makes Aspire different? Is you see the good in all of these things and you're able to synthesize them into your message?
I think Aspire is about love. And I think it's about showing you gain love here, you gain love here, and you gain love here. But the problem is, do I want that love? Now, I've been doing this for a long, long time, over 50 years, and I'm telling you, as I've said before on these programs, and you see it when I'm doing the clips, people don't want that. They want fast, quick, and easy, want to get on with it. Can we squeeze this in between dinner and good night? You know, that kind of thing. Aspire, I was trying to show the oneness of all great masters. Mm-hmm. That's what I was trying to show. Mm-hmm. And where my origins came from in unity and stuff, it was about how to heal your life, how to get money, how to get prosperity, it's those things. And that's not it. I wanted to awaken. Mm-hmm. I knew I was asleep.
I remember you doing topics on money and really addressing that. Yeah. And it had so much impact on people, the show. I mean, you had a big viewership when we were on Sunday mornings.
The deal is that they thought I was a cult. And they throw that word cult out. Mm-hmm. When somebody doesn't like something you're saying that is, shall we say, different than the religious flow, then they throw the word cult at you. Mm-hmm. And a cult is any organization that has as its center point a person or a deity. Well, the United States has that with the President of the United States. That's a big cult. The Pope and the Catholics, that's a huge cult.
Elon Musk now.
Elon, there you go. I mean, it just goes on and on and on.
Yeah.
I'm not a cult. I'm not trying to get a following. It doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is, if you're interested, may I help you?
Right. Here's a hand up.
Yeah, let me help you. Let me show you what you are.
Well,
really
certainly Aspire did that, because you can only talk to him so much, but as you mentioned before and all the time is you have to go through the process. You have to do the work, and that doesn't happen from watching a TV show.
No, it absolutely does not. And Aspire was an invitation to awaken. That's all it ever really was meant to be. The very word aspire means breath of spirit. And I wanted that to be the foremost part of it. I wanted people to understand that this isn't about a following. This is about your awakening. Not about following me. It's about your awakening. And no one can follow another person. Mm-hmm. The disciples could not follow Jesus. The disciples could not follow the Buddha. Well, Lao-Tzu, as you know, ran away from his students because they were trying to cling to him. That I understand Lao-Tzu very deeply. I have a lot of respect for that. Yeah. But, everybody wants to hold on to you. Mm-hmm. And then when they fall off the map, and I'll tell you what happens real quick. When they're young and in their 20s and 30s, they're kind of, okay, let's try this. But after they get to a point where they get married, have children, have to pay for college, have to pay for taxes, have to buy a new car, want a better house, yada, 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 then they fall off. And
I get that completely.
yeah, and added to that is their DNA. Because as that process of getting older happens, they start dying. They know. Deep inside, we all know we're dying. Okay, you look at me now, look at me then, you can tell I'm dying. Everybody dies. And that puts urgency into things. And women want a boob job and face job, and the men are looking to make more money to keep their boob jobs and their face jobs and get their kids through school and da 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 da. And pretty soon, what's spiritual? What do you? I don't have time for that. Mm-hmm. I'd rather go do yoga 3 times a week for an hour, and that'll be the end of it. Mm-hmm. That's it.
Well, as you just said, the older you get, the more entanglements it seems that there are.
There are.
You
Yes,
know?
you face death.
Yeah, and you've got all these other responsibilities, and so you're focusing on just chasing after those. It's hard to let it go.
This is not a pretty world. This is not a pretty life. Everybody wants it to be pretty. It is not pretty. And the things that occur here typically are pretty ugly. And no matter what you think, say, or do, or how you try to dress it up and put some lipstick on this pig, it's still a pig. And so you have only one choice. Either I go down with the pig in the ship, or I transcend. And most people don't even know what transcend, what does that mean? And I'm too busy to explain that.
Well, if you transcend, it doesn't matter what your meat suit's doing or
That's
how
right.
crappy the world is.
That's right.
You're living in that great place all the time.
All the time. It's all around you. It's deep within your deepest being. And instead of acting out of impulse and DNA and genetic heritage, you start reacting and acting from love. And the reaction starts to go down, and this great love starts, and you go, I could have had a V8 all my life. Yeah, boom, I could have had the V8 all my life. But Americans aren't that smart. They're not. And everybody wants to think we're the greatest country. We're not the greatest country in the world. And, you start to look at what we've done over the world. We had to create an atom bomb. We had to. I mean, it had to happen. Somebody was going to do it. Mm-hmm. You start thinking about the things we've done in this world and what we do to the oppressed and the poor and all that. You got to look at it and go, I'm a part of all this. I don't want to believe I am, but I am. I am too. Mm-hmm. So what am I going to do? Am I going to transcend it or be a part of it? Right. And most people just are a train wreck and they just want to go into it. Hope for the best.
Well, as you say, people don't know. They don't want love, the love you're speaking of. They don't know that it exists. They've never had a taste of it.
And even if they did, they'd be... And I've had students get a taste of it, and they go, I might lose my job. I might lose my husband or my wife. My kids won't understand me. Mm-hmm. Oh, my God, I can't do this. I had students come in after, years of working on themselves, 2 or 3 years, and all of a sudden they get it. They go, oh, they get it. They get the full Monty, just a brief insight. And they'll come in the counseling room and say, I can't do this. I'm quitting. That close. Oh. Can't do it. Because the wife doesn't approve of it. And usually it's that. A man will get close to it, but his wife will take him away because she is head of the brood and she's the one that's in charge of the family, and he can't be alone because he has man disease. He can't be alone. Men cannot be alone.
Is it a mommy thing, do you think? I
think it's a human factor, and I think it's part of my DNA. I have man disease.
Yeah.
I do, and I have to always keep it at bay and remember what I'm doing within myself. Everybody has it. This isn't just certain people. Mm-hmm. We all have it. But to transcend it means I have to have a clear awareness of the other shore in me and what that's all about. And I, like I said in other programs, I can't be content just sitting there letting my life go into the pisser because I'm a coward. And most people are cowards. They are. The women want control over their men, and the men want to be controlled so they don't have to think about it. I've had men come to me and say, you know, I'm going to be a father again, or I'm going to be a father. And I look at them and I said, well, how does that feel? And he said, I don't know how to be a father. That's what they say to me. And I say, well, you knew how to impregnate her. How come you didn't know how to be a father? Didn't you know the consequences of that?
You better learn fast.
Yeah. No,
No.
I didn't think of that. What do you think, that sex is a sport? Can't help them.
Right.
You just can't. They need to suffer. And that's why they're suffering here, because we bring it on.
Very well.
That's pretty heavy stuff for today, huh?
It is.
I
Are
know.
you good?
Yeah, I saw your eyes roll.
I'm good. No.
No, I'm joking. No,
All right, well, we're going to have some more stuff. And, you know, if you have any kind of inkling to explore, you know, I mean, check out the Aspire YouTube site, and there's a lot of material there that can help you if you're truly interested in pursuing a spiritual path.
yeah, there is still.
Thank you. Thank you.